What's up, you beautiful collectors and Masters of the Universe fans? Once again, it's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we have something very special. We have the new 2024 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive He-Man and the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. Too bad, basically, but in a unique kind of way, which is really very, very fun. For the packaging, as you can see, the folks over at Mattel always do an amazing job with the packaging. This here shows Too Bad there in the background, and then you have this, which is an accessory. It's the Ancient Mirror of Avatar, which, honestly, I don't remember. I'll be totally honest with you. Shout out to my buddy Pixel Dan, who kind of went over this a little bit. Sounds like this mirror appears in one episode, but what's kind of strange is that while Too Bad is in the episode for a brief second, the mirror and him have nothing to do with one another. So it's really weird that this is kind of included in all this. But spinning this around, you can see that much like all their packaging, really very well done. You have Tuvar and Badra, which Too Bad, Tuvar, Badra, stick it together, you have Too Bad. It's kind of funny. Tuvar and Badra, though, never appeared in the cartoon. It was always just Too Bad. So this is something that expands upon it, maybe through the classics line. Again, I'm not entirely sure, to be totally honest with you, but I love this interaction with them arguing. And then you can see you got Badra right here on the side, and then you come around and you can see a continuation of them, but then you come around here, you have Tuvar's face come around, and again, more of a full image, where this kind of creates the Too Bad illusion, that kind of splits them up, and then you got them arguing it with each other again. And then this section just slides right up, and you can see that it reveals kind of like this translucent sort of thing, but kind of looks like a mirror. And now when we get to the internal portion, again, you got Too Bad right there, and then you come around to the side, you have Badra just kind of hanging out there with some like electricity kind of going, and then the other side has Tuvar right there, and again, Skeletor using them to combine them, and you can actually combine the two boxes, and it connects magnetically, which is really cool. And that's a pretty solid magnet. I mean, it's not going to hold its weight, but I mean, that's pretty solid. Love that. Absolutely love it. And then you can see you have the half images of them on the side, and then you have Skeletor bringing them together. And there's a line in the comic book. Now, I'm not going to show this because I don't want to spoil too much, but it goes into the different perspectives of them kind of being merged together. What's kind of cool, though, is you got this side, and then you flip it upside down, yeah, that side, which is cool. And I do want to mention something that is absolutely iconic. Shout out again to Pixel Dan, who kind of did his video on this first. And what's absolutely amazing is he has been immortalized in the Masters of the Universe world by being given his own character in this comic book. I'm not going to go into too much of it, but he's obviously homaged when you're reading it, and he actually reached out to Mattel, and they confirmed that it is him, which, as a toy reviewer myself, that's the pinnacle. To be recognized by a toy company and immortalized in that fashion for him, Dan, that's amazing. I don't know if you watch my videos, to be totally honest with you, but that's amazing, my friend. I'm so proud of you. You know, through always doing Masters reviews, through creating books, the content that you produce, to be immortalized, like I said, with the Masters of the Universe. Kudos to you, my friend. I am insanely proud of you. Now, with the packaging, again, one thing that they always do is make it very collector friendly, which is nice. This actually, you got like these little tabs right here, so you can remove this very easily. You got this outer section here, and I like how this kind of hides that extra little body. But you can remove that off to the side, and then you have the figure. Now, it is tied in with rubber bands, but the nice thing is that you can actually put it back in fairly easily. So this, you can see, once you remove those little rubber bands, you can pull them out. But then you could very easily just kind of shove them back in there, and just following the lines, for the most part, of the rest of the body, you can very easily put them back in and then display them, which is fantastic. I absolutely love that. You have the body, which allows you to connect these two. Now, like I mentioned, Tuvar and Badra never appeared in the cartoons. It was always just Too Bad. So it is very interesting that they decided to do this. The other thing that's very interesting is that the majority of, you know, Masters stuff that's come out so far have been part of the Origins line. The newest line is the Cartoon Collection, which basically takes the same principle of the Masters of the Universe origin figures and does it in a more cartoon style. Now, I haven't done any reviews on those. I have a couple of the figures. I actually have Skeletor, He-Man, and Beastman. But to be totally honest, I don't have much of an interest in those for some reason. I prefer to have my vintage toy look. So the origin ones are a whole lot better, in my opinion. So it is very interesting to me that they decided to not release this. Oh, is this tied in there too? I didn't actually cut that. Ah, darn it. Oh, wait, I'll just rip it off. So it's curious to me that they decided to not do that. I'm trying not to. There we go. I don't want to damage this too terribly much, because this is still going to be fun. Okay. So how did I have that? Yeah, it was like that. Now, my honest opinion is that I believe that they will release a Too Bad figure without, and then you can just put this back in there. I'm going to get this out of the way. Without the actual two-figure aspect. That seems like it's probably what they're going to do, to be totally honest with you. Just release one figure of Too Bad, not doing the Tuvar and Badra sort of thing. But it's kind of cool that we do have these, and I'm very happy about it. But I do understand where a lot of people would be more inclined to want to get the Origins look for these guys, just because that's predominantly what a lot of people have in their collection. Just because, you know, the cartoon line hasn't been around for too terribly long, so they haven't gotten to them, and we don't know if they're going to get to them. But I mean, for the most part, this is still a cool set. But I truthfully do question why we have it as it is. Not to say that they're not gonna. I gotta believe that they're gonna do an actual Too Bad in Origins line, which would allow them to kind of really get very detailed with it, because with the cartoon, these two characters, especially when you like combine them obviously into Too Bad, are very smooth, very clean. You can see that there's a very nice smoothness to them, whereas the vintage toy had a lot of texture, a lot of detail was put in. There's still a lot of real good detail in these, but especially with Badra here, he had a lot more kind of like scaling in his sculpt, which is missing here, but still looks really very good. Starting off first with Tuvar, again, really very cool, very nice. I haven't taken a look at any of them. I mean, here's Skeletor. He's still in the box. I mean, you can see, I mean, he definitely has more of a cartoon look to him. I just, like I said, for some reason, my collection, I like having them look like the vintage toys. So it's weird, because while I didn't have a lot of the vintage toys, I watched more of the cartoon than anything. So you would think I would be more inclined to like that. But for some reason, I just haven't gotten into it. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. Really cool looking, though. Head sculpt looks very nice. The ridges look good. His ears are really kind of funny looking. Great detail with the eyes, kind of looking a little cross-eyed. I mean, he looks a little cross-eyed there. He's got the fangs and everything. overall, really very sharp. You got nice silver for the gauntlets and the hands themselves. The belt section here, you got that down here with the boots as well. Really very, very nice. And then when you're going to combine these, literally what you're going to need to do, and I'm going to do half and half. So you pull the head off, pull the arm off. That's all normal, right? And then you have the leg right up here that you also, and well, you can pop off the torso as well, but pop that off just like that. Now you have this guy. But you're gonna come around here, you plug that in there, plug the arm in. All the articulation is identical to the Masters of the Universe origin figures that I've looked at before, so you're not really missing out on much of it, but you can see how fun this is already to create this. I mean, that's just really neat. And then I also love how they kind of have like this whole chest thing, which is pretty much the same, and then you can see how it combines here, and it keeps the same kind of thing. So you can see like the 4 little dots around the outer section. That's the same thing here. Whereas Badra's, you can see it's like this, but it goes like that on there. So really fun, honestly. In terms of Badra, again, very similar. Body is basically the same. You can see the gauntlets are a little bit different. You got, instead of the dots, you have those little little wedges and stuff, much like his chest piece. The boots down here are the same, but like the rest of the musculature and everything is identical, with the exception of like this armor section right there. All the articulation, like I said, is identical to what we've seen with all of the Masters of the Universe origin figures, but going through, separating this, that, and that one, setting him there. I mean, you could probably even create a little bit more of a one-sided one. You won't have the same head or anything, but that's kind of funny. Plug that in there, like that. Bring the arm in. And like I said, you just gotta believe that they're going to do something with the Origins line for him. It would be such a missed opportunity, I think. Because why I think a lot of people like this cartoon collection, I think that they would really like to get something like from the original vintage toy line as well. So pop that in there. And now you have a cartoon representation of Too Bad, which is outstanding. Super, super fun. So setting him there for a brief second, taking a look at his one accessory, the Ancient Mirror of Avatar. Great detail on it. A lot of real nice sculpt work around here. The back section is just a hollow sort of thing, but I love how they have this little lenticular thing, so it makes it look like he's talking to you. Like I said, I don't remember this episode, but Dan specifically mentioned that this was in an episode where he was in the episode once, or he was in the episode, just not really in conjunction with that at all. But I do love the set. I think it is extremely well done, but there are some questionable aspects to it. Number one, why go with the cartoon look? I mean, I honestly, I don't know. I can't. I don't even want to speculate on why. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I feel like if you wanted to do the Badra and Tuvar sort of thing, I think that you could have done it with the Classics line as well. I don't know. Maybe they didn't think it would sell all that well. I honestly, I don't know. I truthfully don't. I am happy to have it. However, as I mentioned, the other aspect of things is that I do not have a cartoon collection in my display. It's all the vintage toy look of the Origins. So realistically, I don't know how this is going to fit in my collection, because the aesthetic in terms of the design on them is vastly different than those Origin figures. So I don't know. It's not, the figure is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know how well it caters to me, though. Truthfully, I don't know if I would have picked this figure up if I was going to San Diego Comic-Con, which unfortunately I'm not. But I don't know if I would have picked this figure up in the first place, just because it doesn't fit in my collection. Still a great figure, still is going to find a beautiful home in the people that, do love them and, are enjoying the cartoon collection. I just don't feel like it's going to fit with mine, and that's kind of unfortunate, because I love it. I want to love it. It's just, like I said, it doesn't fit. The other aspect of things that I don't really understand is the mirror. It's nice that we have it. It doesn't connect to too bad at all. So I feel like they could have left this out entirely and gave him some weapons. A blaster or two, a shield, a mace, something like that to kind of tie in with what he used, sometimes, especially, like I'm not going to get into too much of it, but obviously they're holding blasters right there. Well, he's not really holding a blaster. Oh, no, yeah, he is. They're holding blasters right there. So, I don't understand the thought process between giving us that and not something that ties to the characters like weapons. So, I don't know. I don't want to put a negative spin on this because the figure is actually extremely well done. The way that they did the whole chest and the swapping and everything, I think that's really very cool. And it really did afford them the ability to do the two individual characters. So you basically have three. I know some people are going to end up having to try to get two sets of this to kind of have all three of the characters. It's kind of what, toy companies do. But it's still a really good figure. I'm just basing this on how I feel like it would impact my collection. And I don't think it's going to have much of one just because, like I said, I haven't been displaying, or I haven't been collecting the cartoon collection. So it's still really good, still really fun. Highly recommend it if you're into it. That being said, this will be available starting at San Diego Comic-Con tomorrow, which is the 24th of July, which is super exciting. So if you're going to preview night, which that's what Wednesday is, if you're going to preview night for it, these will be available right there at the convention, and then through the rest of the convention as well. However, if you're not going, starting Thursday, the 25th, it will be available on the Mattel Creations website at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So if you're not going to the convention, you can still go to Mattel Creations, which I'll put a link down in the video description to kind of help you out. But starting at 9 a.m., this will be available. So if you're not going to the show, you will still be able to get this. I don't know. I mean, like, there's always kind of like, no way of really knowing how well this is going to perform. So this might sell out like that. It might last for a good long time. I don't know. But get there as early as you can. Hopefully it's there if you want it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and kind of shed some light on this set. I think the packaging is outstanding. The figure is outstanding. The accessories kind of, weird to me. I have to sneeze. So, excuse me. Everything is good. The figure is great. Just, so objectively, I love it. Subjectively, though, for me, I don't necessarily think it's going to work for me, just because, like I said, it doesn't fit with my collection. But objectively, it's a good figure. It's a great figure, realistically. It looks amazing. I do hope we do get an Origins one, so I can add that one to my collection, though. But there you go, guys. There's my look at the new 2024 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Tuvar and Badra, Too Bad, from the Masters of the Universe cartoon collection. Thank you again to the folks over at Hasbro for sending this figure out to me so that I can review it just ahead of the show. Hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, this is Optibotimus saying adios, au revoir, and Alvida saying, and I'll talk to you later.